what are your plans for Disney? What are your thoughts on Botox, lip fillers, etc.? How are you doing? How are you? How are you doing? And stress of wedding planning if you've been stressed financially, because same. How do you prioritize personal self-care? Well, hello everyone, what is up? And welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Brianna and welcome to our monthly coffee chat. I love doing these. I just find that it's so fun to ask you guys questions and just chat. The way that I view this is as if we're on FaceTime and you're just kind of hanging out with a girlfriend. And I don't know, it's one of my favorite videos of the month to film when you guys just submit questions over on Instagram and we just kind of chat and we hang for anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes depending on how chatty I am, which today I am feeling a little chatty. So we will definitely be chatting up a storm. But if you're new, subscribe. My name is Brianna and we just have a lot of fun around this little corner of the internet. So welcome in, grab your drink of choice, snack of choice. We have some really great questions. We have really great questions this month. I always put a question box over on my Instagram and I ask you guys to submit questions, topics, things you want me to chat about, anything in that nature, and we just sit for about 30 to 40 minutes and we chat. And that's really what it is. So welcome to this month's coffee chat and let's get into it. There are lots of questions again this month, so I'm very excited to dive in. I'm not going to go in any particular order like I do normally every month. I'm just going to kind of pick and choose whatever question piques my fancy right from the beginning, and that's where we will start. So first question is, are you using a wedding planner? I'm a big planner but getting a little overwhelmed. So I am not specifically using a wedding planner. However, the woman that we're working with at our venue is in theory my wedding planner. She reaches out to me when I need to get things done. She helps me along in the process, and I do have a lot of friends right now that are getting married, so I find that because we can kind of bounce ideas off of each other, that's been really helpful. So where I am a type A person, very organized and planner in my regular day-to-day life, I found with wedding planning, once I got like the big things out of the way, everything else was just kind of second nature, and whatever I got done, I got done. Whatever I didn't think about, I didn't think about. And like I said, the woman that we're working with at our venue has been helping me through that process, and we are actually using Zola for our wedding website, and they actually have kind of a checklist and to-do list to keep you on task. So I'm not using specifically a wedding planner, but I'm using the woman that works at our venue that's basically like my wedding planner, and she's been helping me a lot along with Zola, has been super, super helpful. Next question is, what are your plans for Disney? So right now we are headed back to Disney July 25th to the 30th with Cory's sister and her boyfriend. We are so unbelievably excited. We are not doing any park hoppers. We're not doing anything crazy for that nature. We are just going to every park once, and then Cory and I are staying an additional day because I wanted an additional day to be able to hang out with Brandon while we were down there. So I wanted to just make sure that we had a little bit of extra time, whereas they wanted to get back a little bit earlier and make it more of a quick trip. In terms of plans, we know obviously the 4 parks. We're going to all 4 parks, and right now we do have a few dining reservations. We have a boathouse reservation, we have a Woody's Roundup Rodeo barbecue reservation, and we have a Crystal Palace reservation. So we may keep all of them, we may not. We're kind of iffy on it right now, but I wanted to have those reservations so I knew that they were done, dusted, and all was good to go for that. Next question is, what is sparking joy right now? Honestly, what is sparking joy right now? I would say this warm weather and just the sun being out is really making me just happy, honestly. I feel like I am my best version of myself when it is warm and sunny and I can see a blue sky, and that is just when I am my absolute best. So I feel like the warm weather is kind of keeping me really inspired. And then the other thing that's sparking joy for me right now is going to the beach. The beach is my all-time favorite place in the whole world. So now that it is warm in New England, we are spending a lot of our time on the beach, which has been truly just a joy. I love nothing more than spending my weekends at the beach, and those are definitely 2 things that are bringing me some joy right now. And it feels good to be in the summer, especially New England. We are normally brittly cold. Like, we have cold winters and things look dead for a really long time. So when we get that warm weather, I am just happy girl. Next is, I actually love this question, which is, what are your thoughts on Botox, lip fillers, etc.? My personal opinion, do you, sister. Like, I think that when people have really strong opinions on Botox and lip filler and cosmetic surgery, to me, find another like personal hobby to be super passionate about. And I know that sounds so foolish and silly, but to me, if like getting lip filler makes you happy and makes you feel more confident, go for it. If getting Botox under your eyes or in your forehead for your like wrinkles and lines in your forehead, go for it. I don't know if I would ever get Botox. I say never because maybe in 5 or 6 years when I'm feeling a little wrinkly or, you know, liney, I guess maybe I will. And I've actually thought about getting a little bit of lip filler in my top lip because when I smile, my top lip quite literally curls up under my lip, and I don't have a top lip at all when I smile, if you can see, like kind of close. So I've always like thought about it. I've never actually gone through with the process or inquired or, you know, anything like that. However, I think, you know, if that's what makes you happy, go for it. I think, you know, I don't necessarily have a stance on it other than I think you personally, you know, don't look super plastic. Of course, like everyone's naturally beautiful, so I don't think you need that to feel beautiful. So if it makes you happy, go for it. But yeah, I guess I don't really have a stance, because I think if that's something that you want to do, then you go for it. Next question is, do you ever think of moving closer to Florida for Disney? Love your content. Thank you. And Cory and I have definitely contemplated it. Cory and I have really thought about moving to Florida for a short period of time or a long period of time for probably the last year and a half to 2-ish years. And I think when we got engaged, we kind of put it on the back burner. It's come up in conversation a little bit more, I would say recently, the idea of moving to Florida. I'm somebody though that in the next potentially 3 to 5 years, I would like to have kids and I would like to start a family. Of course, you know, God willing, I'm able to have children. And I think that what I don't want is I don't want to raise our children far away from our family. I'm very close to my family. Cory's very close to his family. We're close to each other's families. So I don't know if I would want to move somewhere permanently, but I think for a short period of time I would be open to it. And not just specifically for Disney. I am a much better person in the warm weather, in the sunshine, when the sun is shining, and I just love being in the warm weather. And I also love that more city feel with a lot to do. So we've definitely thought about it. I will always keep you in the loop if that's something that we ever, of course, decide to continue and really pursue. But right now, for the next year and a half, we are stationary. We need to save money to buy our home, actually get married first and foremost, because we get married in under 3 months. So those are the main priorities right now. And then maybe in the future we would consider it. But as of right now, no plans to move, just enjoying where life is taking us. But if life points us in that direction, then we will drive down that road and be happy about it, I guess. I'm really open to anything. Cory and I have talked a lot about living away from family for short periods of time. We both have lived away from family before, when we were, of course, living in Boston, when Cory lived in Georgia for an internship. So we've always been okay with the idea of uprooting and trying something new. And I think the other thing I would say that makes me a little more apprehensive is we would be moving away from friends and family. Of course, my dad lives in Florida, more like northern in the Lake Worth, like West Palm Beach area. So he'd only be about 2.5 hours from us if we moved to the Orlando area. So that would be a win. But for the majority, a lot of our other like family members, of course, would be here. Also, I think that a cloud just came. So if I look blue or transparent, that would be why, because there was just a cloud. But let's move on to the next question, which was just, how are you doing? How are you? How are you doing? And you guys, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I am doing so good. And sometimes I feel guilty. Okay, now I'm orange. We love the sun. I just feel so good. And I'm doing so good right now. And sometimes I get nervous to share that on social media, because I find that sometimes it's like, oh, social media is a highlight reel. Like, you know, you're only sharing like the good moments. But for me personally right now, I'm feeling so good. We are 3 months away from our wedding. Our mini moon is booked. We head to Disney in July with family. We have other weddings this year. Like, also, sorry that the lighting is coming in and out. Let me see if I can fix this. All right, hopefully that changed it a little bit. Again, I'm not sure. The lighting's coming in and out. We have the air conditioner in right now, so it makes the lighting a little weird, but you know what? Here we are. It is what it is. So how I'm doing really well. I'm telling you, when the sun is out and I'm in warm weather, I feel so happy. I love a New England summer. I love being outside and seeing blue, clear skies and just having nice days. And I'm just doing really good. And like I said, sometimes I feel apprehensive to share that on social media, because I feel like social media is always a highlight reel, that sometimes I feel like social media has almost moved into the opposite direction, where now we like don't share as much good because we're trying to be, you know, honest and vulnerable in those moments. But I also think it is good to share both. Like, it is good to share when you're feeling down and you're feeling like shit and you're feeling horrible, and it's also okay to verbalize and share when you're feeling really good and you're happy and you're energized and you're, you know, inspired and creative and all those things. So right now I'm feeling the latter. I really am. I'm feeling good. I don't feel stressed with wedding planning right now. I feel just happy and joyful and full of just really good energy. So how I'm doing, I'm actually doing really well, and I'm excited to report that I'm doing well, and I'm not going to shy away from the fact that your girl, she's doing good. And I just had my first sponsored content which just came out, which is my Princess Polly video. I can link link that down below. That was a huge win for me on YouTube, my first ever like sponsored video, and that just made me so excited and so happy too. So yeah, I would say I'm doing good, and I'm happy to say that I am doing good. The next question was advice for small YouTube channels. I have two. My first one is be consistent. Keep posting your videos, keep posting, you know, whatever it is on YouTube that you want to post. And, you know, of course YouTube wants people to stay on their app, their website, their algorithm. So the more videos that you're posting, the more people that are watching your content, the more times that YouTube will push that video out to other people, which is one of the reasons why my Disney content does really well, because it's very searchable content. So when I'm posting Disney vlogs, right, and a lot of people are watching a specific vlog, it'll get pushed out to a lot more people. My last Disney series did super well, my best ever, which was amazing. And then I would say my second one is just be you. Be 100% you. Do not do things because you're seeing other people do it. You know, don't create videos because other people are doing those videos. Create what you want to create and just be yourself. I am someone who has had really ebbs and flows of growth. I always grow when I post Disney content. I'm always a little bit more stagnant when we're not at Disney, and I'm okay with that. I am completely fine with not niching down and just kind of posting what I want to post and just being 100% authentically me. I think that so many times we see on social media people not turn into people that they're not, but do things because they feel that they're required to, or, you know, because other people are doing it. I will give you a perfect example of when I did this myself. Monthly reset routine. I saw Carter doing all of her monthly resets, and I was like, oh my God, I love this video. Her videos are doing so well. I should do a monthly reset. Like maybe my videos would do well and I could grow from it, and that sounds fun and exciting. And I would film my monthly reset video every month, and I used to dread it. I used to dread doing that monthly reset video up until this year when I told myself I'm completely scratching that idea and I'm tweaking it and I'm making it my own, and now I call it my Welcoming the Month series. And I think that there's no harm and foul in trying something and seeing if you like it, and if you don't, to pivot and move into something that you do like. I love more of a vlog style reset and spending a whole day kind of resetting for the next month ahead. I film it, you know, the first 1 or 2 days of the month, and that's just way more my style. So my advice to you is just be you. Find things that you love, or maybe little pieces of, you know, others' videos, and take that as inspiration, and you will be much happier when you are 100% authentically yourself online. And people can see when you're not you, and I think that is so unbelievably important, is to be yourself. Next is, will you be vlogging your upcoming Disney trip? Yes, we will be vlogging the upcoming Disney trip. This one will have, I'm trying to think of how many videos it will have. So it'll have a pack and prep with me, a travel day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then maybe, probably not a haul, but a Q&A. So it'll have 8. So we'll have 8 videos in the series, which will be a pack and prep with me, a travel day, a day for each park. So that's 4 videos. And then our Q&A, which we always do as well at the end of every video, Cory and I. And maybe we could even do a Q&A with Cory's like sister and her boyfriend too. We can see if we can like get them in on it. I think that could be fun, or even like a podcast episode. So we'll definitely be vlogging, and we're so excited. I kind of missed vlogging in May. Honestly, it was a nice break, but I miss it. Like I wish I could re-click back into those memories. So yes, we will be vlogging, and we're very excited. Next is, would love some updates on your wedding planning, tips for other brides, etc. So in terms of wedding updates right now, like I said, we're 3 months under from the wedding. And if you want any other kind of tips, tricks, updates on wedding planning, I do have an entire wedding series that is here on YouTube. So it has our engagement party, it has packing for my bachelorette, our wedding rings, our registry, all that kind of stuff. But I'd say my biggest piece of advice for any bride or soon to be bride, or if you're in your bridal era, is that your wedding can be anything that you want it to be, and it really doesn't matter what anybody else has to say about it. And I know that that's kind of vague and kind of but something that I have realized while I've been wedding planning is I am planning my wedding alongside 2 of my really close friends that are getting married this year as well. And all 3 of our weddings look drastically different. However, something that their weddings have in common that mine does not is just a bigger, elaborate wedding. I have a wedding of 55 people, very immediate family, 1 little table of friends, and that is it. And I found myself getting into that comparison game of, oh, should I have had a bigger wedding? Do I regret not having a big wedding? Should I have done something more elaborate and extravagant? And I think when you get into that comparison mindset during your wedding planning, I can promise you it will lead you down a really dark, tumultuous hole, and you will have no fun and no joy in wedding planning. So do things that are going to bring you joy and make you happy, financially. Don't try to do things because you're seeing other brides or other people doing it. You know, for example, I love that Carter eloped. And I love that my friends Casey and Rachel are having big, gorgeous weddings. My wedding's different than both of those, but it makes Cory and I happy, and that is what I am the most excited about, is that we're having a wedding that fits exactly what we wanted versus what society or other people are doing. And that's my biggest tip, is just follow your heart, follow what you want, and you'll have a beautiful wedding. So another wedding planning question was, I'm a 2024 bride, stress of wedding planning if you've been stressed financially, because same. So we definitely have been a little bit, I would say, financially stressed when it comes to wedding planning, because there were some absolutely outrageous quotes out there. And I think when it comes to wedding planning culture now, especially in 2024, things are wild, just absolutely unheard of. Like, we got a quote from a photographer videographer combo for $10,000. Our dream wedding venue had a food and beverage minimum of $65,000 just for food and beverage. And there's so many outrageous things that I have seen from weddings that financially it's a big investment, and I think there's ways that you can curb it. One of the ways is that Cory and I's venue was definitely like a way that we decided to curb things financially. However, we have been, I would say, pretty stressed financially because we of course are paying off our new car, we are traveling, we're trying to pay for a mini moon and a honeymoon, and we have three other weddings this year that we are in attending. Some of us are in. Like, it's just been a really crazy year. So definitely I would say that we're under a little bit of the financial gun as well, and especially because we're 3 months out from the wedding, we're not going to be able to say we don't have the money come September 21st. So where it's been all kind of fun and games and we've just kind of been signing deposits over the next month to 2 months, like, ladies, we gotta have that deposit money plus the actual money that we signed to pay. So definitely a little bit financially stressed. However, I would say that there's certain things that Cory and I decided were a splurge versus a save. One of the things that we decided was a splurge was our photos. I knew that I wanted a great photographer. She's a very close friend of mine as well, and she did our engagement photos, and whatever she was gonna charge me, I was gonna pay, because I knew that I wanted those photos. Another thing that we said that would be a little bit of a save was favors. We're not doing wedding favors. We're not doing like a parting gift. We're not doing any of that stuff because that just felt like something really silly that no one was probably going to end up keeping in their house anyway. So that was an area that we saved. So I think make a list of all the big things and you can do a splurge or a save. Another great way to save a lot of money is a lot of people are doing fake flowers now. We're not doing fake florals, but that's a way that I've seen people save thousands and thousands of dollars to save money. And I think fake florals are really beautiful. So that's another way to save your money as well. Have you decided where you'll honeymoon? We get this question every time we do a Q&A or anything, and let me tell you, you guys, we have no idea. Our life is truly just so up in the air right now, but we did book a mini moon and we are so excited about it. So maybe we'll vlog, maybe we won't. We haven't 100% decided yet. And I think that we're gonna do kind of like a long weekend honeymoon-ish, because I think that what we want to do is go to a tropical island. Like I said, we were thinking about Cabo. A lot of people have recommended, you know, Punta Cana, Riviera Maya, all these really, really nice places, but I don't want to go for a really long time. I might get bored, and I think Cory would get bored. So I think we're gonna go for like a long weekend in February, from, you know, Thursday to a Tuesday or a Wednesday to a Monday, something along that nature. So we have really great recommendations, and we are still in the process of 100% picking our honeymoon destination. Next question is, what made you start a YouTube channel, or what made you want to start a YouTube channel? So I answered this probably months and months ago back in another monthly coffee chat, but what made me want to start a YouTube channel was Cory and I were traveling a lot pre-COVID, and I remember thinking all I have to look back on is photos, like, and I wish I could kind of double click back into those memories. For example, when Cory and I first started dating, I used to have him watch all of our like home videos that we would make for Christmas, or my cheer competitions, or my brother's football games, or just anything like that that you could almost relive. And I feel like nowadays with social media and just taking photos on your phone, you're not as likely to be videoing things. So I started a YouTube channel because I wanted to kind of document our travels and our life together. And I think that, you know, when I started YouTube, I was originally going to just do travel content, but as I kind of pushed myself out of my comfort zone, thanks to Carter, she was actually the one that got me to start just vlogging everyday life, I realized that there were not a lot of people that were living my kind of basic mundane life. I was working a 9-to-5 job. We were, you know, living in Boston doing, you know, fun stuff, but also basic mundane stuff. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna bring that to the internet and bring a little bit of lightness and more kind of everyday normal human being. So not that everyone's not a normal human being, that kind of sounded like an a-hole statement, but I just mean, you know, I don't do content creation full time. I work a full-time 9-to-5 job, and you know, I didn't see a lot of that on social media, and where it's a lot of work, that was why I wanted to start a YouTube channel, because I wanted to be able to double click back into memories and have almost just like home videos for our family and for Cory and I to see how we kind of grew up over time, which I'm so glad that I did start a YouTube channel. Next is, when did you guys know you were ready to get married? So honestly, I don't know, I think this is a good question. I think it's challenging for me to answer because I knew that I wanted to marry Cory from the moment that I met Cory, so I knew that that was the person that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. However, when did I know that I was ready for marriage? I would say probably 3 to 4 years into our relationship, I was ready to 100% commit financially, emotionally, and I was already emotionally committed, but I think when you think about this commitment that you're making, you know, when you're dating, when you're younger, for example, I met Cory when I was 20, we got engaged when I was 25, 26, yeah, I think 25, right before I turned 26 years old, and I had so much growing up to do when I first met Cory, right? I was young, I was finishing out college, and I wanted us to just kind of enjoy the dating life. You know, I'm gonna be with this person, I'm gonna marry this person forever. So I don't know if that answers your question. I think I was ready for marriage when I had grown up myself a little bit. I had gotten, you know, my first job. Cory and I lived together for a few years, and we were ready to make that next step to each other. Cory was the one that said, hey, I think it's time that we start really moving this needle. Let's go engagement ring shopping. Cory was the one that kind of pushed that in the trajectory. I did not, which I'm very fortunate for, because Cory was ready to marry me, and that's all that I needed because I have the best man ever. But you know, I think when you feel financially stable, when you feel like you and your partner are on really good terms, that is when I would say that I felt ready to get married. And yeah, I think, you know, maybe when we get married, some things will change, but in theory, I feel like really the only thing that will change is maybe our bank accounts, and Cory will be really seeing how much shopping and spending that I'm doing. But I mean, other than that, we basically act married now. We live together. What's his is mine, what's mine is his. We share everything. We, you know, split things. We don't split other things. So I think we've been ready to get married for a while, and I have to say I am very excited to finally be married. Next question was, will you and Cory ever get any pets? Cory and I are not pet people for ourselves, but I like pets for other people. So we travel way too much, and I do not want the ball and chain of an animal. To be personally, like 100% honest with you, I've just never been someone that's wanted a dog, wanted a cat, wanted a pet in any way, shape, or form. I think they're great for other people. Some of my best friends in the whole world, they've got pets, and I love their pets in their house, and then I love to come home and have no pets. So we will never have any animals. Cory had a dog when he was growing up, and when he had to put his dog down, he said it was the worst day ever, and he never wants to have to relive it. So sorry if that's morbid, but we're not animal people. We like to kind of be at our own grace without having to worry about animals, dogs, cats, that kind of stuff. So we won't have an animal, but we love animals when they're not in our home, and we love to be able to visit our friends that do have animals. So the next question is, how did you decide your living arrangement, for example, with your mom and family versus Cory's family? So we decided on the current living arrangement that we're in. Actually, I'll backtrack. If you're new to the channel, Cory and I are currently living with my mom here in Connecticut because we decided to move out of Boston and move back in with my parents so that we could save money to buy our first car and buy our first home and save for our wedding. So we decided to live here with my family. Now, the reason we decided on my family versus Cory was there was any big kind of decision maker or conversation on it. The reality of life is that Cory's mom lives in a 2-bedroom, my mom lives in a 4-bedroom. So my mom lives in a much bigger, more like spacious home for us to all be able to coexist harmoniously together. We easily could live in Cory's mom's home with Cory's mom. However, her home is just a little bit smaller. She has a 1-car garage because it's only her. And so whereas my mom and my parents moved into this house when I was a little kid, so when I was 7 or 8 years old. So we needed 3 bedrooms at the time, plus my dad had an office at the time. So there is just so much more space for us here than there would be at Cory's mom's. For example, we have our own bedroom, our own office space, and our own bathroom. So it's nice that we have our own kind of like segregated area to the house as well. Of course, we coexist with my mom every single day, but we would have never moved into Cory's families because my mom's, like my house here just fits us better. We didn't need to, you know, put a lot of our stuff away. You know, we would have to work in Cory's mom's basement if we lived in Rhode Island, so it just made way more sense for us to live here in Connecticut, and my mom was gracious enough to have us. So there was never any kind of like bad blood or where we were like, oh, well, which family would we pick over the other? It was more so my mom's house is way bigger. That's the only place that we would move into if we were moving into anyone's home, because Cory's mom's is, like I said, a little bit smaller, and I think we all could do it, but I think it would be a little bit of a struggle because it also has one bathroom. So 3 adults, 1 bathroom might be a little bit of a challenge, so we decided on my mom's. Next question was, are you and Cory still thinking of going on a Disney cruise? So Cory and I have definitely thought about going on a Disney cruise. Honestly, they look so fun and so exciting, and I have really never been on a cruise. I've been on one when I was in Greece, but it was a really, really small boat, and Cory's never been on a cruise, so that seems like something really fun for the two of us to be able to do. I don't know if it's in the cards for us this year. If anything, maybe something next year, but we have our annual passes right now, so I don't want to pay for another kind of like Disney experience when we already have the annual pass. So I would love to do a Disney cruise. Like, I'm never saying never, but I don't know if it's in the cards this year, so maybe 2025. But yes, they do look so fun and exciting, so I hope that one day we will definitely get on a Disney cruise. So the next question was, how do you prioritize personal self-care? So it can be really challenging. Honestly, I would say some months are a lot easier to prioritize self-care, or they're just more like some months I'm just more prioritizing myself versus others. However, one thing that I do that I really love when I'm prioritizing self-care is on Monday mornings is when I do my everything shower. So it's when I exfoliate, I, you know, double cleanse my hair, wash my face, do a face mask, do all my fancy skincare products. And I think it's just a way for me to go into sometimes a really busy week with starting with myself, and I feel like it puts me in a really good position for the week. And I would say the second thing is I'm very good at communicating to Cory when I need personal time, when I've like reached my limit, right? So for example, let's say, you know, tonight it's 7:30 and maybe we were gonna watch a movie or hang out with my mom. I'll say, guys, I need a little bit of me time. I'm gonna go in the bedroom and read with a tea or watch a YouTube video with a little snack, and I just need like 45 minutes to myself. And sometimes I will share that with Cory. Sometimes we already book in like personal time, right? But I think, you know, prioritizing yourself is so important. Even if there's one little thing you can do a day that prioritizes your own self-care. Maybe that's a face mask. Maybe that's making, you know, a fun little beveragino to have in the afternoon. Or maybe it's having an ice cream after dinner. Or it's a long walk. Or it's shopping. It could be anything from so small to so big. But I think creating space in your life to prioritize self-care is so important, and I try to do it as best I can. I try to prioritize myself at least once a day, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long. Some days, right, are bigger than others. Sometimes I have full days where I'm, you know, prioritizing self-care, but definitely making the time for it is the most important, I would say. And yeah, I think it's important to prioritize yourself, because if you don't, no one else is going to do it for you. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this month's little coffee chat. That is going to conclude. There were a lot of questions this month, so it was kind of hard to pick and choose and funnel through as I was going through, but I felt like this was a good little chatty moment. We got to answer a lot of things from all different parts of my life: wedding, Disney, self-care, all that kind of stuff. So cheers to another month of a fun coffee chat with all of you. Also, I'm still hyperfixating on the fruit. See, this is why, crazy. Fruit fusion or fruit splash, fruit something, the ginger ales with that taste have the little cherry in it. I am addicted, and I'm giving 4th of July vibes, and today is July 1st, so I mean, hey, cheers to that. So without further ado, I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Comment down below the pink heart emoji with the stars if you made it all the way. Actually, no. Comment down below the cherry emoji if you made it all the way to the end of this video. But I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one.